like to use this chart every time I talk about Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and Prince Harry's popularity versus Harry's sibling and his wife's popularity. First things first, this chart was made by the Daily Mail. So that's the first thing that should give you like an inkling of why you shouldn't necessarily trust everything that is said about this chart. And as has been pointed out by several people, well, Google searches don't necessarily translate to popularity, to which I will say to you, well, not necessarily. Yes, I agree with you on that. However, having said that, you do have to agree and concede that these Google searches do translate to an interest from people. And people don't seem to be as interested in one pair of people versus the other. Like that should tell you something. And thirdly, the fact that the Daily Mail is the one that produced this data should tell you that should a credible source produce something similar, what would those numbers look like? Because as you know, the Daily Mail has spent its entire, like, it's an institution that has dedicated all of its resources, all of its staff members, a whole bunch of money, and every single day these people should just call themselves the Daily Meghan, because they've dedicated their lives to trashing this woman and presenting her as this Jezebel witch who is like this vapid, vain person who is a nothing, entity. And these are the people who are not like interested in presenting anything positive about this woman. So if they're telling you more people are interested in her than the people that we keep getting told are popular, that should tell you something. And thirdly, I keep getting told, well, I'm comparing celebrities with actual true royals, And my question to that is, well, why is the data comparing actual royals to celebrities? Like, why can't you compare royals to royals? Like, why the interest still in these people that you are calling irrelevant and therefore celebrities and therefore not as important in the world, or whatever metric of, goodness that you are using to judge this data? Like, why are you why are you giving me data and then telling me, but the data is faulty? Like, why don't you leave them out of these charts and everything else? Like, why do you still feel the need to bring them back into the conversation? That's my point. Like, you can't tell me they're not actual royals and still compare them to actual royals. And then when the royals perform worse than these people that you think are irrelevant, you cry about it like, oh, they're not actual royals. Like, pick a lane. And fourthly or fifthly, I've lost count at this point, I then get told, oh, well, the actual YouGov polls show that more people have a positive opinion of William and Kate versus Harry and Meghan. And my question to that is, what were the questions getting asked in this kind of poll? Like, we're not getting that full context, that full information. Like, we don't have that. You're just presenting data to us in a way that you want us to interpret it, i.e., Meghan is very unliked, and people then proudly say, well, the only person who's like less popular than her is Prince Andrew. That's not a compliment. That's not a trash against Meghan. That is an indictment against you as a society. The fact that the only person you like, if you are at a point where you are comparing Prince Andrew to Meghan, I would like to remind people, this man has been accused of pedophilia, of participating in human trafficking with Epstein. If that is the person you are saying, well, if that's your gotcha, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, if that's your gotcha, you shouldn't be proud of this. You should not be saying this proudly that, oh, people hate, like the only person they hate more than her is the pedophile, the accused pedophile. Like, what are we even talking about at this point? And fifthly or sixthly, like when you look at the other matrix that should indicate popularity, like the actual real world, real life matrix that should indicate popularity, Meghan blows these people out of the water, hands down. The Meghan effect isn't just something that measures economic performance of things that Meghan wears or whatever. It's a clear indicator of how popular she is. Take, for instance, With Love Meghan. The numbers for that don't don't perform in the same way that cookery and lifestyle shows perform. Like, she is way above everybody else. She doesn't have peers, is my point. Like, but when you, y'all are gonna have me saying stuff that I really don't want to say. But when you look at Kate and her effect, businesses go bankrupt even after she has worn brands. And the other thing that I've noticed is that there is this push by the Royal Rota to kind of be like, well, if Meghan sells out stuff, well, Kate and her children also sell out stuff. And it's like, no, Don't stop lying to us. Stop lying to us and tell the truth, because these people are not popular. They're not popular. They're not popular. But seventhly or eighthly, whichever number I'm at now, why are y'all so obsessed with the popularity? And why do you keep telling us where one group of people is celebrities and influencers and these other people are royals and they have influence and these are the charts? Like, I think at this point, and I don't say this condescendingly, I do need people to exercise a little bit of critical thinking and media literacy, because you can't just give me data and then come and want to nitpick the data to kind of tell the story that you want to tell. Because even though I do not trust the Daily Mail chart, it still tells me something. I do not trust that. But again, like I said, I know Meghan is a lot more popular. So this chart is actually just showing me a trend. It's actually just showing me a trend. I think these numbers are a lot higher than we are being given here. The Daily Mail, I don't think that the Daily Mail is above just cutting off at 300,000. It wouldn't shock me to find out that this chart actually went to like 500,000 or a million or whatever, and they just cut it off here to not make the other people look bad, is my point. And I hope I phrase that in a way that is understandable and coherent, because again, I don't trust the numbers, I trust the trend. And what I mean is that Prince Harry and Meghan, yes, a lot more popular. Sorry, that's my colleague pouring water. But Prince Harry and Meghan are a lot more popular than we are being told, even by this Daily Mail chart, is my point. And when you give me the emotional support poll from YouGov, I'm telling you, no, that's not true. They are polling people with a predisposition. I know I'm struggling for the correct word, but they are polling people with a predisposition to say, I actually view Meghan negatively. Because these are people who read the freaking Daily Mail and Daily Mirror and Daily Express and all these other Royal Rota nonsense. It's like, come on now.